All right, I got a couple pieces of content in my head. I've kind of picked the one that I think is the funniest. I got a good blow to the ego a couple days ago. So we've talked about a Thai woman might likely try and steal a foreign boyfriend, a Falang Fin. Falang Fin is, again, for newer viewers or less experienced people with Thai culture. Fin, it's an sound, Fin, not like rotating thing you blows wind on you. Okay, it's a slightly different and it's a longer tone. You'll hear it. It's a common word. You'll hear it. It's generic. It means boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. It's totally generic and non-specific. Some people get offended by it, but it's the word they use. It's the most common word. Sami is husband. Panlaya is wife. And you don't hear those as often. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, but women will try and steal us guys, and it isn't always because we're so awesome and sexy or whatever. Okay, I get that, and you got to get that. Okay, a lot of it can be money based, but out here, okay, as has been well established on the channel, a lot of guys aren't looking so good, and it's not just physical appearance, but appearance. Your appearance, the appearance of the situation you appear to be in, the appearances in the broader, was that the Germanic concept of Gestalt, the whole broad concept of appearances, are really really of paramount importance here. That is something you absolutely want to understand. You do want to understand that, okay? Anyway, so on appearances, generally I appear pretty good because I'm no longer obese. I'm fit. I wear 32 pants. I can wear like a spandex shirt and it looks good on me. Like, you've got to really be fit to wear like one of those tight shirts, because those don't hide anything. you know you know so fine, okay, great. I took poor care of myself in the past. I've been doing catch-up maintenance now, so physically I look okay, great, whatever. But just as big, equally, I don't run around saying or doing bad things with my Thai neighbors, which is a common thing out here. I don't know why people would move out here to do that, but it's super common, and the Thais know that. Again, any foreigner that thinks they're moving into a village and they're so much smarter than everybody around them, and they're going to gossip and talk about them and look down on them, and the Thais aren't going to know every single freaking thing they're thinking and saying, man, they're sadly mistaken, because they do. It all gets around the village and eventually gets back to me. I speak enough Thai, and Fawn is really good about being honest with me. Which is unusual. I think they're very honest people. I think your average Thai is more honest than your average American, at least that I know, based on how poor they are and the fact that they don't take anything that doesn't belong to them. I'd say they're extremely honest people. But they do, as I've said many times for newer viewers and stuff, they tend to keep their culture to themselves. They're just a nice way to say it, and a fair way to say it, still fair to say, is they're a shy people. In the cities, no, not like they'll love to share. They'll love to share their culture and their ideas and what's going on. And again, a girl I dated, slightly, maybe too young girl that I dated early on after before Fawn and all that. She would share political opinions and things that was going on. And I learned a lot about opinions on the educational system and stuff from her. She was a bright young lady and shared all those ideas. But generally, village culture isn't like that. The traditional culture isn't like that. Okay, all right. So that's that. Hang on. First cup of coffee, just started it. This kind of got in my head, and I want to get it out while it's still kind of rattling around in there. So we have this one lady in our periphery, and I'm not going to show a photo of her out of respect for her and for Fawn and everything. I am going to absolutely tell you, she is stunningly attractive. Not just attractive by Thai standards. You could absolutely, she's prettier than most models on most magazine covers. You name it. She's very, 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 just stunningly attractive woman. There's no way anybody would give her less than a 9. maybe a 9.8 or something. She's really, really, really. I've got some photos of her in group photos with me and her, and I'd love to show one, but just so guys would get encouraged that if they're really into beauty, yeah, you can have that here. You're gonna pay a price for it, which you're about to find out about, but you can have that here. And that's important to a lot of guys, and that's cool. Anyway, so that's one of Fawn's uncles. Yeah. So when we're in a group and stuff, it's not culture for Thai women to touch other men. Like like in America, like in Michigan. I'm from Michigan. It's a big state for hugging and stuff. I'm not a big hugger. I used to be. I'm just not anymore. I'm good, But a really close friend, sure, okay, And my son, my daughter, of course, But I'm not like hugging, meeting people and hugging them, But that's common in Michigan culture. That's not uncommon at all. Okay. Here they don't do that. I've had several women hug me and really hold on to me, and it's a pretty intimate hug. I mean, their hands are all in different little places and stuff, and it's like not the hug you'd get from your grandma. Okay. And that was happening with this lady, and I'm only we no longer see, we no longer see this person. Fawn is assured. Fawn is assuring that we will never see this person again, and this is the reason why. So she's the hugging's a bit much, and when there's a group photo, invariably she's right next to me, and it looks like I'm wearing her in a couple of the photos. This isn't, this has happened multiple times, and then if we're traveling somewhere, and again, Thais are pretty social in a lot of ways. They stay in fantastic touch. They got the Thai network. Some of my friends call it. Some people, if you're a Jimmy Buffett fan, it's the Coconut Telegraph. But they've got their Thai network, and they don't need the news. I'm telling you, they know everything that's going on and exactly where it's occurring and when it occurred and who is there. They are extremely well informed in their lives. They know everything. To me, they are a people of great detail. That's why I always say you got to show up looking good. Make sure you don't have hair sticking out of your ear or your nose or something stupid, or your hair isn't combed wonky. I haven't combed my hair today, so I don't want my hair. I think it's okay, but my channel isn't the beauty channel. But okay, you get the idea. They're a people of great detail. So I've traveled a couple of times, and then she was in touch with this lady, and they used to be really close friends, and she'd want to meet. And when we were meeting, she was spending a lot of her time directing her attention to me, which is odd. And then we're back to the hugging and the touching and everything. So I'm thinking, wow, geez, I'm such a stud and everything. Look at this, I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm not quite that obtuse, but somebody come up. But in the back of my mind, there's a little voice going, hey, Rob, this is kind of cool, Okay, so so that's what Rob thought was going on. So let's discuss what was really going on, because the two aren't really similar at all. So what was really happening is, I thought, and that's why this is, I think it's kind of fun to make fun of myself, but two, it's a good point for guys that are here and looking to find a wife. I mean, on the face of it, she's really quite the catch. I'm telling you, really, really, absolutely, string bikini figure. I mean, and just beautiful face, everything, really, and well put together. Expensive clothes. She has a good job in a major city. She's doing really well. I mean, she's, maybe she's Chun-Sung in some way, high class. I mean, maybe, I don't really know. I thought her family was wealthy. And so she definitely gave that impression, and so I thought she was. I really did. And when you get here, compared to the average guy coming here, I know way more about Thai language and culture than a noob here. So I got fooled. So my point is, imagine how fooled you could be. Okay. So I'm thinking she's from a wealthy family, and she's flirting with me because she's attracted to me. Okay. Now, I didn't take any bait. I wasn't interested. This was earlier on in my relationship with Fawn, but I was focused on her. Fawn's more the village girl type that I really like, and this lady's kind of the opposite. Very, very sexy looking and everything. And 9 out of 10 guys would prefer her. I get that, physically. No skin off my nose. But I'm not thinking anything. I'm the attention. It's a compliment. It's flattering, but I'm not interested. Okay, and we end up in a small group a couple of times, going to dinner, going to some events. I mean, we end up kind of socializing for a while, then it got to be a bit of an issue, and then it got to be an issue for Fawn, and then it got to be an issue for me because I know Fawn's not happy, and then so that was that. But so back to what really happened. So, and this happened with the first time woman I dated. Same exact thing. I don't know if this lady's had plastic surgery or not. I don't know if she was that pretty to begin with. I mean, again, both these ladies are just absolute stunners. But she's spending her parents broke. Her parents are breaking themselves. They both have like good jobs and everything. They're both like definitely well employed with way above average salaries and everything. But they've spent themselves really broke, and they confided in Fawn about this problem. This is how I know so much about it. And that's exactly what the first lady I dated. I've said her name on another video. I'm not going to keep saying it, but same thing. The first lady that I dated, she spent her mom broke and caused her mom to. I don't know if she lost her house or not, but there was a threat against her house. She was having some real problems. She had borrowed, I think, against it or something. Anyways, I left about that time. But and then this other lady here we're talking about, this kind of former friend of Fawn's in our social circles, I'll just like to say, she did the same thing. The parents were breaking themselves financially to support the girl. Kept just, they can just call, Kong Nun, request money, Kong Nun, and a lot of Thai parents will give it apparently because this is not uncommon at all for me to see. I have another deeper, much harsher, much sadder example of a lady so this lady, I mean, do I like her? Not really. I think it was inappropriate the way she was flirting like that. What she wanted was she wanted me to come in, abandon her friend, embarrass her, embarrass Fawn, really give Fawn some heartache, and then steal me, and then really, thinking that was thinking that I'm maybe richer than I really am or something. You know what I mean? So kind of insulting in the end. So for a while there, it's like, oh, hey, and that's the thing. You get these flirts and you get these ladies and you're thinking, oh my gosh, and it goes to our heads. You know what I mean? And it does, and we're not above that. And very few guys are really above that. If you're being honest with yourself, certainly being honest with myself, I know that I could be susceptible to that. And I never was dumb enough to act on it or anything. But then it was really kind of funny when all in the final analysis, and this occurred quite a while ago. This happened like a year ago or something. This is early on for me and Fawn, but just recently it all kind of came back and what really happened, and it was. I think it just shows you how you want to be a little more careful here. I'm going to dive into this example of another lady we know, and it's the subject of ineligibility. And we always think of an eligible bachelor, or a less eligible, or a more eligible bachelor. Well, women can be eligible or not too. And man, that plays a huge role in Thailand. Huge. And I don't think it's as much of I don't know that it's as much of a factor. Certainly, I mean, it can be, obviously, but I never thought about that back in the States. And I don't hear guys talking about that back in the States. But we should be, maybe. But here you got to be. Because this lady, she's on the surface of it. I mean, she's stunning. She's got a big job. She's working in a big city. She's obviously by other things, she speaks English at a high level. You got to be very bright as a Thai to do that, because Thai to English, there is no translation between Thai and English. Just so you cannot go either way. You have to go through Pybon. It's like a pivot table. If you're a spreadsheet fan, you got to go through Pybon, pivot, and then go to the other language. You got to leapfrog across a third language. Okay, there is no way to translate Thai to English. You can't. Same with Mandarin. Mandarin, you use Pinyin. There's Pinyin or Pybon, are like a pivot language. That's a term I've just made up, but it's a functional term. You get the idea. Okay. So a Thai that can speak English at a high level is freaking intelligent. Okay, it's not easy. Okay, and not with not being in a third world country with the resources that they have available. It's hard for me, and it's 1,000 times easier for me. I can buy my way out of it. I can pay for advanced tutors and stuff to help me. They don't really have that option so much. You know what I mean? Anyway, so just kind of a funny story of how I kind of got my head spun around a little bit. A good example to keep your head. And a little bit of the concept on female eligibility, because I would say she's not that eligible in the final analysis. Back to my point, I mean, yeah, smoking hot, speaks, great job, looking good, but she's like a financial black hole, you know. And if you got a giant pension, I guess, but I'm telling you, a Thai woman looking to do all the high class, all the Chansung stuff, they can spend some real money, man. You can be looking at 100,000 baht a month. That's $3,000 US. You know, that's more than most guys' pensions by a fair bit. You know, if you got $5-6 grand a month coming in, you're a very odd duck here in Thailand. At least certainly out here anywhere. I don't know anybody other than a couple guys in particularly special situations that are making that kind of money. I mean, that would be like unheard of out here. Like nobody even talks about that. Here, people, like back home, it's always like, oh, if someone's a millionaire or not. You know, and a million isn't what it used to be, but still more money than most people have, obviously. Here, it's always 100,000 baht a month or not, which is like, I don't know, 2,700 bucks or something, which is a lot. That's a big pension, you know. But yeah, anyway, so there you go. That's it. I'm gonna finish my coffee. It's a gorgeous morning again, and I'm gonna go meet Fawn for more coffee and green tea, and I got a new book to start, and I got some Thai homework to do because I got lessons tomorrow with Kru Usani, and I don't want to flub it up. All right, bye. My name is Rob, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I meant every word I just said with respect.